Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday Preppers, where we take a look at the in-game news for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and talk about how to get ready for the upcoming challenges using in-game rewards and materia and Trustmaster rewards and things like that. A couple things I wanted to say that I missed last week's preppers for a couple of reasons. One being that there really wasn't anything to prepare for. There wasn't really any challenges or content or anything to do this week. So I didn't do preppers last week for that reason. Plus, I had some stuff going on with my kids that kind of prevented me from being able to use my computer. And so, didn't get to record. But here we are. Still not really a ton to do. We'll talk more about that in a second. Before I do, I just wanted to take a quick shout out moment to say a huge thank you to everybody who tuned into Beige Carpet After Party live on Sunday. It was super fun to engage in that in a live setting with chat active and being able to answer questions live and kind of give feedback and just do that in a live setting. So I definitely plan on doing Beige Carpet live on YouTube going forward, just because I think that was a lot of fun, and I hope that everybody who came had a good time, and I just huge thank you to everybody who did turn out, and I hope we can have an even bigger crowd next time, because it was just a lot of fun to just sit and talk with you guys about the game and in a really different atmosphere. I know I stream 2 or 3 times a week over on Twitch, but honestly this was bigger and like more of just like an open discussion forum, and so that was really cool. And I hope you come out for the next one. So I'll definitely do a better job of advertising for the next one, because a lot of people couldn't find it. They were like, "Why weren't you streaming on Twitch?" Because I was streaming on YouTube. So definitely come out for that one. But before we get way off topic, let's dive into what the content is. So there's really only a couple things, and we talked about all of the featured summon for like Rain and Fina. We talked about that during the live stream review, so I don't want to get too much into it, other than to say that they did give us the banner structure, and it's actually a little bit cheaper than a usual premium step up is. It only ends up being 58k, and you do have boosted rates for Jekt, Flaring Ether, Rain, Petite Jewel Leftia, and Princess of Cornelia Syrah. So there are some units that I don't actually have EX3 of on there, mainly Syrah and Leftia. But Jekt and Rain are EX3 already, so that kind of puts me off a little bit as far as whether or not I want to pull. I still haven't actually decided whether or not I want to chase after these units. They don't seem that interesting to me personally, even though I do have a couple pieces of like the water team, especially with Aang and Chow, and I've got like Irvin almost to EX3, so I've got some good options, but like yeah, I'm not 100% sure how if I want to do that just yet. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Their banner actually exists for a long time. They're available for almost a full month, so like you've kind of got time to wait and see, do some video summons, see how this all shakes out. They're available until April 3rd, so I would say take your time. Beyond that though, let's talk about the actual content that's coming out. The first thing is just this one here, United with the Water God. This is a box summon event, so you're farming against some aquatic enemies, the Triarchs A, B, and C. There's just 3 types, 3 different colors. They're all the same, aquatic enemies that are 50% weak to thunder, water, wind, and earth. You can use all the breaks you want, and JP anniversary units give bonus points. You can also farm up some exciting stuff like a more demon killer, which, as much as I love killers, I would love to have gotten an aquatic killer here as opposed to a demon killer that does boost attack and magic 30%, like woo. And then chain comprehension, which is like half of the chain cap. So like if you already have another source of a half chain cap, like chains of strength or the other chain comprehension, this does gives you 50%, but you cannot stack chain comprehension, so this is not that great. It's there, but free stuff is free stuff, so definitely farm it up. Make sure you set a JP anniversary unit on your friends list. I've already got mine set with Knights of Grand Shelt at EX3, and also just make sure that you're set with a JP anniversary. EX3. There are lots of good JP anniversary units that are NVAs. You know, so like let's just go into mine just to see, because I did this on stream earlier, but I was playing my alt account that I totally don't have because that's not in line with the rules. My kids play it sometimes. That's what it is. So JP anniversary. So you've got like, you know, the Esper units like Athena, Deosis. You've got you know, Rain and Athena, Lastwell and Reagan. You know, this was a JP anniversary unit that you could get for free to EX3. The Untamed Wolf Adele. You know, lots of options. But in NBA, you know, you've got Ifrit Rain, Bahamut Athena, other NBAs. Oh, Axstar, Supreme Deva Axstar. So lots of choices. That Shiva Lastwell should also be, right? Where is Shiva Lastwell? I'm not seeing him. Oh, Shiva Lastwell right there. So lots of options. So just make sure you set one of those to give bonus points for your friends. And we'll be good to go that way. So we'll talk about how to get some Aquatic Killer. Aquatic Killer is kind of rare in the game. But before we do, let's talk about some other things. Other content that's coming out is that the Esper of Destruction Part 2 is coming out. And they talked about that on the live stream. Apparently, I have not played Esper of Destruction Part 1 yet. So there's some information here about, you know, Sophie and Bismarck, and they tell us a lot about, you know, what we're expecting here. But from what I've heard, Chapter 1 does not really include much combat. I'm hoping that Chapter 2 includes more combat, but I've heard that whatever combat it does include is pretty easy. So, like, you probably don't need to worry about killers, you know, whatever. Just go have fun and enjoy the story. The only other thing we're really getting is just more story content, and so they said the story continues. Right here, go get a little more Lapis in Chapter 10, Part 2. Some information's there. There you go. So story event, united with the Water God. You know, not a ton really to do. What other things are in the news? New vision cards for Rain and Athena. Obviously, those are there. We talked about those on the live stream review, though. There's a new Lapis replica exchange coming out. Special summons are beginning. This is like, there's a curated summon, of course, but then also the daily Esper of Destruction 8+3 summons are beginning, which is really cool. I'll be stringing a video of those together. And then leader skills update. So like the original NBA Dark Athena is getting a 300% leader skill for Dark category. Not that exciting, but it is there. Otherwise, we're just getting some login bonuses and things like that. Maintenance should be done by 7 Pacific, which is honestly a little later than usual. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. Like, if they're going to make it go faster and, like, you know, whatever. I don't understand why it's such a long maintenance without much being going into the game, but whatever. Let's talk about where you can get some Aquatic Killer, though, because that is really the only killer you need for this week. Technically, it is just a farming event, so like, how hard is it really? There's not a ton of Aquatic Killer in the game. You can get some from beating Catastrophe Advanced. That gets you the Aquatic Aquan Eater Sense, or the Tiger Fangs as a fist from Scorn of the Beast of the Dark. Aquan Killer from Ollie is a friend point unit, so you should be able to get tons and tons from there. Soldier's Protection, Narine's Trance Saber, Hyamanto. Not a ton of like free, like easy to obtain Aquatic Killer. There's more like if you have like good units with like TMRs and STMRs that are Neovisions and things like that. You could also just go into the Vortex, and assuming you can beat it, if you can beat Catastrophe, you should be able to beat the Octomammoth too. But if you go to, not summons, come on, what am I doing? Vortex, goodness sakes, into the Nemesis, 12 types. Octomammoth is also here, and simply just beating it, you know, you get one Aquatic Killer for free, you get the recipe for Aquatic Killer Plus, and just you can farm up Aquatic Killers from just beating the Octomammoth, and it's not that hard. I know it says difficulty 340, but at this point, you know, most players will be able to beat the Aquamammoth pretty easy. Octomammoth, you know, it's there. So there you have it. We're not even going to go into a clear tonight because it's just a farming event, and I don't even think you're really going to need aquatic killer to beat the farming event. It is just a farming event. So we're just going to call it right there and say that we know we need aquatic killer, but you know, you've definitely got some different ways you can go and get a bunch of aquatic killer, mainly ollies and ollies from friend points. Just fuse them together, feed them TMR Moogles. We've got tons and tons of them. You'll have plenty of aquatic killer. So just set up a good team of JP anniversary bonus units and have at it. In the meantime, that's pretty much it. So good luck out there. Be good to each other, take care, and we will see you on Thursday doing something. I talked about on stream that I've definitely got a couple things left to do that I just never really bothered with. So maybe I'll be doing some of those, like the Madeline fight to get the amulet or something. I don't know. Up in the air. Either way, we'll have some fun over on Twitch on Thursday, and we will see you guys there. Have a good night.